guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my YouTube channel, thank you so much for taking some of your time to watch this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. To all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for getting me to 50 views on my last video. I have 30 subscribers and I did get 17 likes and I think 7 or 9 comments. I can't remember which number it was, but thank you so much. At first, I'd like to apologize for editing out that part where I had to say, hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, I actually wanted to delete the video, but then I was like on 26 views when I realized that it wasn't there, and I am really sorry. It is a learning curve. It is a development point that I'm willing to capitalize on and make it my strength moving forward, to always have it there. Now you can count on me through thick and thin. So today's video had to be around me just talking about my 2021 goals and how I'm planning on achieving them. But I've never really shared my goals with anyone, not even my mom, no one. I like achieving most of my goals, okay, well, like 90% of my goals in private unless someone knows about them. So everything is going to be a secret for now, and I'll just let you know towards the end of the year how many of my goals were achieved, because now I should be learning to start looking for a job. I need to start getting all of my competencies. Like, I need to be prim and proper. Yeah, so yeah, this year I need to be that, you get it. So today I'm just going to talk about personal finances. The name of the video is Personal Finances Are Personal. So I typed out a few things on this phone that I will be reading, and these are the pointers that I made this morning when I realized that I'm not comfortable sharing my goals. Before I do get to the points, I just want to thank everyone who gave me pointers. So I did get pointers on my pace, around how I should sit in the middle, the way I should speak. I really loved it, and thank you so much for showing me my development areas, and I do hope I improve on those as time goes by. I mean, progress is not done like it's not something you can see in 5 minutes, you know. There needs to be a period of time that lapses before we start seeing changes, and I'm willing on implementing those. So I'm gonna start reading the 10 items that I typed out on this other phone, and then I'll discuss what I mean when I say personal finances are personal. So 1, it says malapa halikani in basic English. So this is a Tswana proverb. I think it's a proverb. Let me think about it. I think it is a proverb. I think it is a proverb. I think, well, now we're gonna have to pretend as if it is an actual proverb, right? So, malapa halikani, it means that households are not equal. And I don't think households are going to be equal at any point in time because of the salary scales we have. We have high income earners, low income earners. We have a lot of unemployed people in our country. So malapa will never legana. Alright? So that's the one thing we need to bear in mind. And then everything else after this point is very serious. I need you to note that I'm not a financial advisor in any way, and everything I do share from point 2 onwards is based on my own observations and personal views, because I do have a right to those according to the Constitution of South Africa. Second one is, most of the time how you spend your money is influenced by other people. So I was closer to my dad when I was younger, and my dad had a budget, and every month he would write it behind his payslip, and I thought that was something really good. And there were certain things that I feel like my dad could have done differently, and because of that, my spending habits are they are influenced by the way my dad spent his money when he was still alive. So I learned from my dad like sorry, my lips are a bit dry. I learned a few tips and tricks on how to make money stretch and how to live the life you've always wanted to live, just on a budget. And he influenced my finance life from also like a teaching perspective, because my dad was an economics subject specialist, and every time nearly budget, nearly the overs, the unders, like you can't spend this much when you have that much. And I grew up with having those thoughts and ideas, and now I know how to do better because of past experiences. How do you define success, right? So if a person feels like in order to be viewed as successful, you need to earn a C63, you need to stay on a hill somewhere, like you need, I don't know, like with regards to how you define success, for some people, success is defined through materialistic things like owning houses, expensive handbags, expensive shoes, buying luxury brands, and then with some people, it's just about having enough money that you're comfortable with, right? So success to me, it means just having enough to afford the things that I want for myself and those that I love the most, and also being able to have money in my bank account and that security. For me, that is success. Success isn't buying the bottle of perfume that I've been eyeing for the past like 6 months or anything like that. It has nothing to do with that. For me, success is just being comfortable. When I know I'm successful, it's when I'm comfortable and I have enough to sustain my own life and those who I love, right? So I would spend my money on memories more than actual goods, like items. Like I'd spend probably most of my money on memories, because I value memories more than materialistic stuff. So probably when I do have like enough, I'd go on holidays with family or with friends or alone. Yeah, so something along those lines for me. So that's what I'm saying. Finances are personal finances are literally personal, and it's literally up to you and what you value as an individual. So you shouldn't be judged for what you value. If someone says you need a Rolex watch, and you don't value materialistic things, then you really don't need it. It's something you don't need, and that's something you can live without because you've never thought of living with that thing, so, or having it or owning it. So it won't change the way you continue living your life. And then the fourth point I have here is comparison is the thief of joy. Never ever compare yourself. Just because we're earning the same amount of money, it doesn't mean that the amount of money we have will get us the exact same lifestyle and it will get us the exact same items, because we all have different responsibilities, and some people's responsibilities are a bit heavier than others, and some people do not have responsibilities at all. Therefore, their money can stretch and they will be able to afford things that their peers will not be able to afford, because maybe they don't have to send money back home, or they don't have to pay off like a debt, or they don't have to return the money that their bursaries gave them, and things of that nature basically. So we can't compare ourselves to our peers because we all go through different things, and there's no comparing apples with apples when it comes to finances. Number 5 is savings. So savings, I said good time or a long time. So how you spend your money, it depends on how you view the rest of your life, right? So if you're here for a good time, you're gonna spend most of your disposable income on a good time, and some of us are here for a good time, but we do know that there is risk and it does exist in the real world, and that you might think that you're here for a good time and then you end up living for a long time. So we try to close that gap by saying, yes, I'm here for good times, which means I'm here to create memories, but I'm also here to save money and to make sure that in case of an emergency, I do have enough money to cover that expense, or like get a new tire or something like that. Priorities, like I said, it basically depends on what you value. So if you need a car and you need to travel from home to like different clients every day, and it's tiring to take a taxi, or maybe there are no taxis, then buying a car can be justifiable. It is actually justifiable because it is your money, and that's something that you want. want, but people will never understand it. They'll tell you for daka ya ko galona ya pentiwa, or like mabota, pente ya foforeja. And that's something that they shouldn't even be thinking of, because they don't know your priorities. They don't know why you bought that car. Not every single person buys a car to be flashy or just to earn it. I feel like people who buy cars have a level of mental preparedness, and they have a level of maturity where they know that I have to sacrifice 5,000 rand or 4,000 rand towards this car because it's going to help me, and I'm also buying it for my own safety. So we need to bear in mind that different people have different priorities. Your first priority might be your family, but to another person it's actually getting to work safe, like not getting magged, just ensuring that the whole process of their employment runs smoothly and there's nothing holding them back or anything that could possibly injure them on their way to work and stuff like that. Like they're just reducing the risk of actually getting hurt. You also need to look at what truly makes you happy. You can't please everyone, especially with finances. People are going to have a lot of opinions based on how they feel and what it is that they would have done had they had the money that you have, which is nonsense. It really, really is nonsense. It really, really is nonsense. It is nonsense because people need to respect you. You deserve all the respect in the whole world. How you use your money is based on your personal needs, your own priorities, and so on. So you can't please everyone. If everyone gives you financial advice, you can't follow 10 different approaches to how you need to use your money. You know what your needs are, you know what your wants are, you know what it is that you can't live without. That is not a need, but it's also not a want, and you need to learn how to factor it into your budget. That's why you'll never ever find me sitting there and saying, but Mang does this and whatever and whatever. I'll only say that once I've gathered enough information to come up with that thing, and I'll tell you. I wouldn't go to someone behind your back and say Matabo 1 2 3 4 5 or 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 about you was said to Mang. I'm sorry. No, I'll tell you in your face, and if you don't take that advice, like, nah, I move. Number 8 is the size of our dreams are not equal. This one is so important. The size of our dreams are not equal. So I could say that I want to own a house. I'm not a car person, right? And I am going to shoot like a small video on the things that I hate the most about buying a small car, because people think that's what you could afford and that's the only thing you can afford, which is not the case. Maybe you just bought something that you really like, but then we'll get into that like as time goes by in one of my next videos, because it actually pisses me off. Like, I actually feel like swearing at people when they do that, because they don't understand why you bought that certain thing. Just because I can afford a car that costs 7,000 rand, it doesn't mean that I need to go and buy a car that costs 7,000 rand. What if I just want to pay 3 grand, and I have a budget for both my insurance and the car installment to say these two combined cannot go above X amount, and that's something personal to you. Hence why personal finances are personal. We shouldn't be judging anyone based on how they spend their money. 9 is accepting help from parents is not a sign of weakness, it's love. So if your parents can buy you furniture or a car or a house or something that could smooth your life, or make it easier for you, then that's great. And that's what we all aspire to do one day if we do become parents. Not when, if we do become parents, because parenting and parenthood is a choice, and that's something you need mental preparedness for. But if we do become parents, then that's something that we can look into to assist our kids instead of letting them start from scratch. Just because someone's parents bought them a Range Rover in their first year or something like that, it doesn't mean that you should invalidate them and say no, but Balisa's mom bought her the car and she's not starting from scratch, and like I said, the first point I said was malapa halekane. So you can't compare yourself to someone else, you know. And just because her parents bought her the car, it doesn't mean that at work she's only giving 50% because she knows that she doesn't need money to pay off the car. That's not it. We use the exact level of precision, we put in the exact amount of effort and the exact same time, so we get paid the same amount of money. And we shouldn't invalidate anyone's comfortability because we feel like we had to start from scratch. Like most of our parents had to start from scratch, and unfortunately that's what most of us are going to go through as well, because our parents did not have enough money to ensure that that gap is closed for the future generations of that specific family, right? And then number 10, it's respect. Respect is very important. I cannot stress how important respect is when it comes to personal finances. Your finances are based on you, your needs, your wants, and your priorities. And no one should ever make you feel like you're living below how much you earn, or you're living above it. Well, if you are living above it, I do suggest you like get help and you speak to a financial advisor or someone who can actually help you get out of the debt or whatever it is that's holding you back from having an emergency fund and stuff like that. But if you are living below, I say great, I say well done. So I'm one person, I used to like branded things when I was growing up, but then the older I got, I realized that I don't like branded things anymore. And I would love to own luxury brands, but at the same time, I would ask myself, should I buy myself this bag, this expensive bag, or this expensive phone, or should I just save this money and go on like a holiday with it? Because if I do go on a holiday, then I'm only gonna spend like half of it and I'll still have 50% left. Like, what's wrong with my phone? You know, before I buy something, I actually think about it most of the time, like 80% of the time. Before I buy something, I will think about it. I'll sit down, I'll rationalize it. I wouldn't necessarily just walk into a store and buy something I know I can't afford or anything like that. I do have a threshold to like my expenditure, and sometimes I do cheat it because like sometimes you implement controls that you know, man, like, hey, this one is going to fail if I test it. Because I would say maybe my threshold is like 500 rand, and then I'll go to one shop, spend 499, go to the next shop, spend 479, go to the next shop, spend that. But then in aggregate, it's above my threshold, and that's something that I need to fix as a person. But at the same time, I also love saving money. I love having an emergency fund and knowing that if my allergies act up, or if someone gives me seafood, like, I'm gonna die and I need money for my own burial. Yes, I was born without my own consent, but this is what life has to come with, you know. And hence why I keep on saying finances are just so personal, guys. They're just so personal. You can't just judge people and say, okay, fine, yes, like maybe you're spending a lot of money on alcohol, maybe you're spending a lot of money on something, but then what if I love good food and I don't want a car, I don't want to own a house, like I just want to save money and have good food? Then no one could ever judge you because you're investing in what makes you happy. And that's something that we really need to take a step back and investigate, you know, and find something that you really, really love about your own personal finances. And for me, I wouldn't necessarily tell people like where most of my money goes to, but I do have certain people that I'm comfortable with sharing with them to say, yo dude, like this week I spent money on this, I did this, I did this, I did that, I'm not happy with this, I'm being remorseful with these purchases and stuff like that. But then like with age comes experience, I guess. And because I love learning from my own mistakes, now I know that I really need to be like my dad. I can't buy something I didn't write down at home at the shop unless it's below like 100 rand or something like that. Then I can like talk myself around it and get it for myself. And yeah, I just want to tell everyone not to judge people based on how they spend their money. It's rude, it's disrespectful, it's annoying, and I don't know like who died and gave you all the power and authority to judge the way people spend their money. I do understand that at times we do get a bit wasteful, and our friends have to step in and tell us that, friend, like over here you're wasting money and stuff like that. But you can't, like, you need to advise a person. You can't necessarily tell them how they should be spending their money unless you're giving them ideas. And remember that you're also not a professional, so that's another space that you need to respect. Know your boundaries as a friend, know your boundaries as a parent, know your boundaries as a family member, you know. And just because someone doesn't say that they're getting help from a specific person, it doesn't mean that that person is not helping them. Like, some things are between you, God, and that person, you know. Some people help people without expecting anything, and that's one thing I've seen from both of my parents, you know. They would help and help and help and help, and they wouldn't care if you thank them in public or in private, and they would really very much appreciate it had you thank them in private, because they don't like people knowing what it is that they do for others. Anyways, with that being said, and to say thank you so much for taking time to watch this video. If any of my thoughts and ideas were misconstrued, please comment down below and tell me what it is that I need to know in order to fix the way I think about certain things. One last thing before I end this video is that I want to say that when you help someone, especially with money or with your own time and stuff like that, make sure it comes from your heart and you don't expect anything out of it. I can't put you through school and expect you to work for me. And helping another person is a choice. It's really a choice, and it's just being there for another person, and it should be from the goodness of your heart. So we're not all gonna start, okay, well, my dad always said we're not all gonna start the marathon wearing the same shoes. Some people are going to be barefoot, and some people would have been on the track for a very long time, and all you need to do is ensure that you complete your laps. And don't look at the person next to you. Just because they're a bit slower than you, it doesn't mean that they didn't train as much as you did. It just means that you're a bit faster than them, because you don't have anything holding you back. You don't have baggage, you don't have anything that could possibly put you down, and that person might have those. So we should just be more considerate when it comes to finances and respect the people around us. And yeah, happy spending. Bye.